Have you ever felt like life is unfair? Like no matter how hard you work, someone else always seems to move ahead faster. With less effort? Maybe you wake up early, stay up late, sacrifice your comfort, and give everything you have. Yet success still feels far away. And the most frustrating part? Watching someone who works half as hard achieve twice the results. If you've ever felt that way, then listen carefully to this story. Because one man spent years believing that hard work alone was the key to success, until a single moment forced him to realize a truth that changed his life forever. In a small town surrounded by hills and farmland lived a man named Lucas. Lucas owned a tiny workshop where he repaired old furniture. Tables, chairs, cabinets, anything made of wood. He had inherited the workshop from his grandfather, and he loved the craft deeply. But there was one problem. Lucas believed that the only way to succeed was to outwork everyone else. Every morning he opened the shop before sunrise, and every night he closed it long after the streets were empty. While others rested, Lucas worked. While others spent time with their families, Lucas worked. While others slept, Lucas worked. Day after day, year after year. His hands were always covered in sawdust. His muscles ached constantly. His back hurt from standing all day. But he never complained. In fact, Lucas felt proud of his exhaustion. To him, being tired meant he was doing the right thing. Hard work always pays off, he would say, but strangely, success never came. His shop earned just enough to survive. Bills piled up. Repairs took longer than expected, and no matter how many hours Lucas worked, his income barely changed. Across the street from Lucas's workshop was another furniture shop owned by a man named Adrien. Adrien had opened his shop only 3 years ago, yet somehow his business was growing rapidly. Customers lined up outside his store. His furniture sold quickly. And unlike Lucas, Adrien closed his shop every day at 5 p.m., Lucas noticed something else, too. Adrien often spent afternoons drinking coffee, reading books, or talking to customers. Meanwhile, Lucas was still sweating over heavy tools. This difference slowly began to bother him. How is this possible? Lucas wondered. I work twice as many hours as he does. Yet Adrien's business kept growing, and Lucas remained stuck. One evening, after another exhausting day, Lucas finally gathered the courage to walk across the street. He knocked on Adrien's door. Adrien greeted him warmly. Lucas, come in. Lucas looked around the workshop. It was clean, organized, and filled with modern tools. Machines cut wood smoothly. Designs were sketched neatly on a board. Everything looked efficient. Lucas finally asked the question that had been troubling him for years. Adrien, how do you do it? I work 12 hours every day, yet I barely survive. You work half that time, but your business keeps growing. Adrien smiled. Instead of answering directly, he walked toward a large piece of wood lying on the floor. He handed Lucas an old rusty saw. Try cutting this plank, Adrien said. Lucas began sawing. The blade scraped slowly through the wood. It took him nearly 5 minutes to finish the cut. His arms burned from the effort. Then Adrien picked up another saw from the table. This one was new, sharp, and well-maintained. With smooth, steady movements, Adrien cut through the same type of plank in less than 30 seconds. Lucas stared at him. Adrien placed the saw down and said quietly, You're not failing because you don't work hard. You're failing because you're working the hard way. Lucas frowned. Adrien continued, Every week I spend time improving my tools, learning new techniques, and designing better furniture. That's why I can produce better work in less time. Lucas remained silent. Adrien then pointed around the workshop. These machines save me hours every day. These designs attract more customers. And these systems keep my work organized. Then Adrien looked directly at Lucas. You spend all your time working, but almost no time improving how you work. Those words hit Lucas harder than any criticism ever had. For years, he had believed effort alone would lead to success. But now he realized something painful. He had been running faster on the wrong road. That night, Lucas couldn't sleep. Instead of opening his shop early the next morning, he did something different. He sat down with a notebook. And for the first time in years, he started thinking. Over the next few weeks, Lucas slowly changed his approach. He invested in better tools. He learned modern woodworking techniques. He redesigned his shop to work more efficiently. And instead of trying to repair everything, he focused only on high-quality custom furniture. The results surprised him. Jobs that once took 8 hours now took 3. Customers began recommending his work. Orders increased. And within 6 months, Lucas was earning more than he ever had before. But the biggest change wasn't in his income. It was in his life. For the first time in years, Lucas closed his shop before sunset. He spent evenings walking through the town, talking with friends, and enjoying quiet moments he had once sacrificed. One evening, Adrien visited his shop and looked around proudly. "You've changed a lot," he said. Lucas smiled. "I finally understood something important. Success doesn't come from working harder. It comes from working smarter. And that is the lesson of this story. Hard work is important. But without the right strategy, hard work can trap you in endless effort with little progress. So before pushing yourself harder, ask yourself one question. Is there a smarter way to do this? Because sometimes the biggest difference between struggle and success is not effort. It's thinking differently.